How much training do the hospitality agencies actually give to their staff, for instance? Because you see, you go to a resort and you want to just relax. You meet somebody at the front desk whose attitude at that particular time doesn't just just off the wrong way, and so you find more than a couple of this happening in hotels, resorts, and the rest of it, and people are just content to just go outside where they know that they'll treat you nicely in spite of the fact that you're paying money for it.
That is not just a Nigerian problem. The hospitality industry has a major problem with service delivery. And I think the problem we have in Nigeria, we've weaved tourism around a foreign culture, so we really don't know how to operate within that ambience. But if we have weaved around the African hospitality, we have hospitable people, very respectful people. All we've just got to do is just to be trained properly as to what to do, how to present yourself, how to greet, and create a particular style. You need to be known for something when it comes to tourism. If you talk about Kenyan tourism now, they're known for safari tourism. If South Africa is more of business tourism, a bit of safari. But we can take the cultural tourism aspect in the entire West Africa. We have 240 to 250 different cultures. So I think the African culture, if we weave around the African culture, they have a lot of, because what people really look for when they go to any resort is respectability, like you indicated. They want to be spoiled. If they want to be spoiled, travel is expensive. It's either you have the money, you don't have time, or you have time, you don't have money. So when you're able to combine both, you want to be spoiled, and you want to be treated like a queen or a king if you're a man. So to a large extent, I think that it's a continuous process. But what I needed to point out to you is that it's important for us to begin, to understand the challenges, know the situation. We have issues with service. Let's deal with service. If we have to bring international people to teach us, if that is necessary, let's do that. We have different institutions in Nigeria that can be utilized to do that. But we must not say because, okay, yes, I'll get better service in Jamaica. Jamaica has a population of, what, 2.9 million people? They get 3.2 million tourists every year. That had to be cultivated. It was built around the Bob Marley movement, raga and reggae. They have terrible service delivery. They are very arrogant when you get to Jamaica. But people rush to Jamaica. Dubai, I think Dubai Mall alone hires about, think about it, 25,000 people, just Dubai Mall. I mean, and you're talking about a country that took only just about 70 kilometers of their area. The total area that was developed for tourism in Dubai is only 70 kilometers, 28 million tourists per year.
So
it has enhanced the agriculture. It's a concerted effort.
All these countries you talked about, Mr. Kimboboye, do not have half of what Nigeria has. But still, our tourism sector
They had to actually import palm trees, sand. They had to, Dubai is the desert. Most of so I'm trying to tell you that we have basically everything. We have Nigeria, 923, 677,000 square kilometers of area, and we have not even touched up to 10% of it. So we can decide to focus on ecotourism with a cultural flavor around it, and then focus on it. We have no choice now because the party is over. What is it, 53 today? Was it 53 pp per barrel?
No, it's below 50 now.
It's gone down to 50?
It's below 50. It's actually around $48 per barrel.
$48. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to say we're in trouble. For me, I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think we'll begin to start looking at other areas. We'll begin to start thinking of what we need to do as a country. The same quantity of oil, 2.2 billion barrels, is what Brazil pump on a daily basis, and it constitutes only 4% of their GDP. 4%. Now, if you look at tourism in 2012, for example, we have it contributed over $6.6 trillion to the global GDP, with 260 million employment, 260 million in 2012. It's gone up to close to 7 or 8 now, trillion US dollars. So we've got to realize that we have not started. And if you haven't started something, then that's when you have challenges. Anything you start will have challenges. You just have to overcome them. If the challenge is service, overcome that. If you have to deal with creation of destinations, because the problem we have is that we've not been able to identify what an attraction is and what a destination is. We go around and tell the world that we have Aso Rock, we have Lumo Rock, we have this rock, we have this attraction. Attractions all over the world. It's not about attraction. It's about us creating a destination. You have to weave something around that attraction. It's when you weave something around an attraction that you turn that attraction into a destination.
You talked about how the industry needs to identify the attractions and the destinations and fuse this into one to make a stronger economic impact. Could you take up from there?
But you see, if you don't mind, I like to use Idonre Hills as an example. Idonre Hills has been there for thousands of years. Tail end of last year, we decided that we need to turn it into a destination. So we created a resort around it, tree houses, rock houses, swimming pool, different attractions, table tennis, different forms of entertainment, amphitheater. When an average tourist comes to a destination, if you list it, for example, and if they come to that destination, they see the beautiful attraction. We call it a conference of rocks. We have a saying in the state that it's a place where mountains came many years ago to have a conference, and they all decided to stay because they're like sort of like a conference of rocks. And on top of it, you have about 50-kilometer radius. When people come there and they see that, and they need to go to convenience, and it's not there, they need to sleep, nowhere to sleep, they want to eat, nowhere to eat, they want to recreate, nowhere to recreate. They are going to keep their $10,000 or $20,000 in their pocket, and they're going to drive out and go back to the nearest airport and back to their countries. But if they come and we spoil them with good accommodation, give them good food, give them different recreational facilities that they'll enjoy, give them an opportunity to visit different other locations because they like to see multiple locations when people do travel. They don't want to be stuck in one place. They like to tour other places, see different palaces, see the kings, and create a package around that for them. You must make sure that they spend that $10,000 in their pocket. That's when tourism becomes tourism. That's when it becomes an economic activity. There are attractions all over the world, countless attractions all over the world, different attractions that we cannot even begin to compete with. Don't let's talk about the Niagara Falls and the rest of it, but when people decide to come for a particular attraction and they see this attraction, you must make sure that surrounding that attraction there is a destination, a place where they can enjoy themselves.
Well, how does it now translate to generating revenue for
they'll
not just
buy food.
the company?
They'll buy food, they'll buy artifacts, they'll buy crafts, they'll take a taxi. An average, I was in Jamaica recently, I was talking to a taxi driver there that has all his children in the US and he has 2-3 houses. And I said, how does he have? He says, tourism industry is excellent. I said, we are just 2.9 million people. We get, they all have the figures. We have about 3.2 million tourists every year. And I make over $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week as a taxi driver, driving people and showing people Jamaica and taking them to Kingston, different areas. So, I mean, you cannot even begin to quantify the economic impact assessment to get when you turn it an attraction into a destination. And that is what we've got to do fast. You just pointed out to me that it's what, $48 now. It's going to drop more from what the fillers we get.
About $40 per barrel.
We don't need to panic. We don't need to panic. We need to now begin to think straight and begin to say, okay, what do we need to do now as a nation? What is it that we've done a lot in agriculture, and I like to use this assessment that will help a bit. Agriculture is important, it's paramount, it's needed. But tourism develops at agriculture.